This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So we have a different methodologies. We use accelerated SAP methodology for SAP implementations. So if you follow this methodology, what advantage is we can implement SAP with a good quality and within the timelines planned without any delay. Without any delay, we can implement SAP for the customers. So implementation is not different. So the same activities that I told you yesterday, installation, requirement gathering, the same thing. So in this methodology, this entire methodology is further divided into 5 phases. Okay, 5 phases, guys. The first phase is a project preparation. Second phase is a BBP, means business blueprint. The third phase, realization. Okay, the fourth phase, final preparation. And the fifth phase is live and post live support. So these are the 5 phases. Okay. So what is ASAP methodology? Methodology means what? It is sequence of steps to be followed. It is a sequence of steps to be followed to implement SAP for its customers. The customers. Okay, the sequence of steps. All the sequence of steps have been divided in 5 phases. Okay, 5 phases. The first one, project preparation phase. Project preparation phase. Before this, let me explain you. SAP system landscape. Okay, or else we'll cover it again, no problem. So the first page, project preparation, it's more of a, we don't have anything to do here. It's more of a project management work, guys. See, the TCS is given with the project. XYZ is a private limited, XYZ private limited company is a customer. TCS is a consulting company. Both are implementation partners. TCS is responsible for sending the SAP consultants to the, for dedicating or allocating the SAP consultants to the XYZ private limited implementation. Clear? So here, now the first teams are identified from both the sides. The teams are identified. So TCS side as well as XYZ private limited company side. So consulting company, consulting team, and the end user team or client. So what are the teams? Consulting teams. Who are the members in the consulting team? Who are the members from the end user side, customer side, client side? Okay, end user teams. These teams are identified, and these teams are headed by project managers. Both the sides we have a project managers, guys. Client side project manager heading the client side users team. The consulting company side TCS project manager will be there heading the TCS consultants team. Okay, the teams are identified here. Steering committee is found. Who are this? So these are like sponsors of the project, directors. These are like sponsors of the project. If like above project manager level people, these are above project manager level people, guys. Okay, so if any decisions need to be taken which are related to the finance, okay, which involves the financial decisions, then the steering committee will make a decision on it. For example, uh, see, any escalation above to the project manager level goes to the steering committee. If there is a steering committee means there is a issue, there is a serious issue. Okay, steering committee meeting means there is a serious issue. Suppose if the project is not going as per the timelines planned, okay, as per the timelines planned, then the steering committee will be involved. They identify the reason why it is not going as per the timelines. Do we have to postpone the project deadline or not? Or do we have to involve additional resources into this project or not? Okay, so they make the decisions, steering committee decisions, guys. They might also take the decisions on whether to move ahead or to stop the project. Okay, such a type of decisions are taken care by steering committee members who are usually the above project manager level people or the sponsors of the project. Yeah, and then core team is identified. Core team is basically the users. Okay, the users from the client side. I call it as a customer side, who has a very good knowledge over business or the client customer business practices. And policies. Okay, and policies. So they are responsible for explaining the requirements to the consulting team. They are the one who needs to get the better solutions from the custom for consulting team. So let's say I am a payroll consultant. I am responsible for implementing a payroll for my XYZ company. I am the consultant from the TCS. So I interact with the who? The payroll end user. The payroll end user. He only can explain me the payroll policies, the procedures that they are following in their company. Let's say I'm a FICO consultant. Then my counterpart user is who? Finance administrators. So they are the end users, point of contact for me, or I'm the point of contact for them. Okay, for a requirement gathering or solution planning, anything. So the core team members are responsible for explaining the requirements to the consulting team and get the solution, right solution from the consulting team, test the solution and approve the solution. So these are the people who are responsible for it. Next, hardware requirements are identified by basis team. So generally, what should be the server, database, OS, server, network, the firewalls, etc. They are the one who suggests the customer. Then both the project managers prepare the project plan. Both the project managers prepare the project plan. A single project plan is prepared by both the project managers together. Because see, the users, customer side users, they are not completely dedicated to this project. We, means the consultants, are completely dedicated to this project. Okay, the users, they have to work on their day-to-day activities, and besides that, they have to take part in the implementation also, implementation process. They have to explain the requirements, they need to get trained by us, so they have their role in the implementation. Along with their role in the implementation, they have their day-to-day activities. Usually, when the month end comes, the users are not available. The users are very busy on the month ends because they have to process the payroll forms, etc. So keeping their availability in mind, both the project managers prepare the project plan, okay, and share the project plan to everyone who is taking part in this project. Okay, everyone part of this project, the project plan is shared. The project plan is shared, guys. Okay, so now this project plan, this is where we start our work. We receive the project plan. We receive the project plan from the project managers. Now we need to go through the project plan. So what is the project plan? Anyone? What does it contain? What does it contain?
Like personal areas, the wage types which has to be created, and the
No,
um,
that is not a project plan. Project plan,
Requirement
this topic
requirements
I'm
of
saying, the project plan topic.
How
This,
many
this,
days the project should go live? What is the deadlines, SLAs?
okay.
what are the requirements from the client?
No. So this project plan contains set of activities that everyone in the project plan, it contains a set of activities and the start date of that activity, and then end date by when we have to finish that activity. Okay, and who is responsible person? Who is responsible? Okay, and escalation, point of escalations. Point of escalations. Okay, so this is the project plan. The activity, okay, and the expected start date. When we need to start this activity, by when we need to complete the activity, and who is responsible for this activity, and who is the next level escalation if there is any delay. Okay, so this is escalations and even normally not there, but you can complete it like this. You can put it like this: activity, start date and end date, and responsible person. This is basically the project plan is. Okay, now this is shared to everyone in the team. Now you also receive it. You are, let's say, a HCM consultant, and you receive the project plan. You receive the project plan. So in the project plan, you see the timelines for each activity. For every activity, requirement gathering, what is the timeline? Realization, what is the timeline? Unit testing, what is the timeline allocated? See, the project manager is someone may not be from HCM background. He may be from some other technology, not some other technology, some other module. The project manager may be a developer. or FICO consultant, or maybe he is a sales. Okay, he may be from the sales. Clear? So the project managers are not from HCM background, so they have some knowledge on each activity and they assigned the time period accordingly. But you are the right person to decide whether it is okay to you or not. For example, there is a realization phase. Okay, realization activity. They gave you 2 weeks of time. But if you think 2 weeks is not enough, you need to speak to the project manager saying the 2 weeks is not enough for this activity because of so and so reason. So then the project manager will extend one more week and they reduce that week somewhere else. Ultimately, the deadline will not be changed. The delivery date of the project will not be changed. Okay, these days are adjusted somewhere else. Clear? Okay, so that's what it is. So you need to, before you say okay to the project plan, you need to go through your activities, the activities that you are responsible for, and see if the timelines allocated are okay to you or not. If the timelines allocated are okay, then you say okay to the project manager saying, okay, I'm okay with the project plan. But if you say okay, if you agree to the project plan, that means you are committed. You must finish that activity within these dates. If there is a delay, then the project manager will have a day-to-day meetings with you. Otherwise, weekly meetings. Okay. If there is a delay in the activity, the project manager will have a day-to-day meetings with you. Clear? Okay. So don't get into that level of situation. So make sure you are completing every activity within the timeline. Within the timeline. Yeah. Now there is a final meeting here, which is called kickoff meeting, just to see everything is set to start with the project or not. Okay. So there is a kickoff announcement saying you can start with your works. You can start with your work as per the project plan. So our real activity will start from here as a consultant. See, the topic that I'm explaining is not just a HR topic. Remember it. It is generic topic. Okay. It is the same for finance. It is the same for material management. It's the same for sales, everything. Okay. The next one, business blueprinting. What is it? Requirement gathering. Documenting. The requirement gathering and the documenting. There is a blueprint template. We need to use that template blueprint or document. Using that Word document, okay, we I mean, in the Word document, we maintain the requirements of the customer and the policies of the customer. Okay, so how do you take the requirement from the customer? How do you take the requirements from the customer? Okay, so we prepare a Excel sheet, guys. Normally, that is the right practice. Let me show you that. So we prepare a Excel sheet. So in Excel sheet, how many legal entities you have? Give me those details. How many locations you have? Give me those details. How many employee groups you have? Give me these details. Okay. How many grades and levels you have? Work schedules you have? Absence types you have in the company. Okay. Every data that you take it in the in the Excel sheet, and you also document it using a Word document. Using a Word document. So different people follow different approach for gathering the requirements from the customer. There is something called question and answer database. There is something called question and answer database. It's basically a Word document, okay, which has a sample questions and the answers, model answers, okay. That tells us how to answer, how the client should answer the questions. So take this copy of this question and answer database, question and answers, and put it to the client and ask the client to answer these questions. Okay, so the client will start explaining these requirements in the form of answers. Now based on that answers, we prepare this Excel sheet. Okay, we prepare Excel sheet. Is that clear? Okay, question and answer database tool. So different people follow different approach to gather the requirement from the customer. So generally this, for blueprint gathering, 90% of the times there is a workshop conducted where we go to the client location, sit with the clients, customer, users, and start gathering the requirements. They explain each and everything to us. Okay, they are responsible for explaining. See, the well they explain, the better solution they get. If they don't explain well, then we will not be able to give a better solution to the customer. We don't understand the requirements, so we will not be able to give the better solution to the customer. If they want a right solution, they have to explain in and out of their requirements to us clearly. They're responsible for making us understood about the requirements. Clear? If you have any questions related to any policy, ask them to give example. He is responsible for explaining. Okay, so using this question and answer database or Excel templates, we prepare two documents here, as is BBP, which has a client's and the tools are existing tools. Okay, so we prepare a as is Word document which talks about the client's business policies, the procedures, and their existing tools, how the current business is running with the existing tools, and currently what policies do they have. We document it, as is document. We don't talk about SAP here. It is like replicating the client existing business process in a document, and the existing tools, how the data is coming, how the data is maintained, and how the salaries are calculated, how the pay slips are printed, how the bank files are generated, etc. Okay, next one, we also prepare a to be document. This is the base for everything. To be, so how the solution is going to be SAP for the as is, for the existing business policies and procedures, how SAP solution is going to be. Plan of SAP solution for a as is requirements. So earlier they were using some legacy tools. Now we are using SAP solution. So the policies and procedures remain same. When the technology is changing, policies are not changing, procedures are not changing. Okay, the policies, this is remain same. Only thing is technology is different. Okay, so technology means, see, when I change the technology, what is changing? The way that the screen displayed is different. The way that we navigate the screen is displayed. That's all the difference is. The way we navigate, okay, the way the screen looks like. These two are different. See, you calculate net pay in an existing tool. you calculate net salary in SAP tool. Should there be any difference? Should there be any difference, guys?
No, sir.
No, right? You run payroll on C. You run payroll .NET. You run payroll on SAP. Okay, an SAP tool. My net salary should remain same because my policies are same. So it just the way that you manage the data on different technology is different. So how the solution is going to be in SAP is to be blueprint, guys. So it must be signed off by the client and the consulting company. Okay, why client should sign on it? The client is accepting that these are my 100% requirements. Tomorrow I'm not going to add anything extra. Okay, it happens normally. The clients, even after sign off, the clients come back and say, no, I forgot this, you add it. We cannot do that. Okay, the sign off, before sign off, client should go through the to-be document, understand the document, and understand what he needs to do in SAP system. Okay, and then give a sign off. Once he sign it on, then we will not make any changes to the blueprint. Okay, from our side, why do we need to sign it on? It's like we are giving the solution for so and so requirement, and I'm not going to change the solution tomorrow. So we also need to sign it on. Both the parties must sign it on. It's like agreement between the customer and the client with a set of requirements and how each requirement is handled in SAP. This is the agreement. So this will be the base for every project, implementation, support and maintenance, upgradation, everything. This is the base. Business blueprint is the base. Okay. Sometimes, let's say there are 100 policies. There are 100 policies or calculation rules the customer require. In SAP, we suggest, okay, use this application, it performs this, okay, calculation. 96 applications are okay to the client. Let's say 96, let's assume 96 are okay. But 4 applications he is not accepting the solution. 4 applications not suitable to the client requirements. Then these are called gaps. Gaps means what?
Sir, is these gaps cannot be fixed by the developer, sir, as per client requirement?
I'll come to that point. When SAP does not have or provide a solution for any of customer requirements, these are called gaps. Now, client cannot give a sign off until you provide a solution for this 4. Okay, now what we do? What is the process here? We check with SAP. Okay, so SAP might have provided, but we missed it somehow. It is not in our knowledge. So we check with the SAP. SAP has any solutions in the standard software. Okay, so we talk to SAP, someone from SAP, and we get it. We get the solution. If SAP says there is no solution for it, okay, if SAP says there is no solution for it, we have not built any solution. Okay, then what is the choice? What is the alternative? We will tell the same thing to the customer. SAP itself has said that there is no standard SAP solution for the same requirement. Then what is the next step? We tell the same thing to the customer. See, we are here as a consultant to customize what is available in the standard. If something is not available in the standard, it is not our mistake. Okay, it's a SAP's issue. But we have to clearly say, okay, when it is possible, yes, when it is not possible, no, that's all. Then client says, okay, so if it is not there in the standard SAP, what is the alternative? But I need this requirement automated. I don't want to use manual procedure. I want to handle it automatically. So what is the procedure? Then we advise the customer two options. We bring our developers in, or developers or technical consultants in, and then they build a new application altogether. They build a new program within SAP. They build a new object or a program, but it is chargeable to the customer. Okay, every new custom development is chargeable to the customer. So then he'll ask you, okay, how many hours is going to take? It's going to take 10 hours for developing and testing. Now customer can negotiate it. Can it be 8 hours or can it be 7 hours? They can negotiate it, because if they accept 10 hours, they have to pay for 10 hours. The customer negotiate it. Okay, let's say customer agreed for 10 hours. Then we keep it in a scope. There is a development required for so and so 4 applications. Custom development, custom program is provided. You put that point here and close the gap. Or now the conditions, the customer will give a conditional sign off. Saying there are 4 requirements for which the consultant has promised that there is going to be a development work. He give a sign off, but with that condition, he give a sign off. So that's how we close the gaps. Okay, so it's like you said, it is possible by the developer will involve into the project and he start building a custom object. He mentions that point, give us sign off the BBP. That's how we fill the gaps. Some customers, okay, I don't want to spend that amount, I will manage it manually. Okay, I will manage it outside SAP. I'll put a direct value into SAP system. I don't want to spend money on it again. That's how they make the decision. That's how we fill the gaps. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with this, first page is over. Second page, sorry. Okay. So we need to get a BBP sign off at any cost. Normally for this requirement gathering, 4 weeks to 6 weeks nowadays, the ideal time frame given to this activity. Okay, it cannot be done in a single day or 3 days or 4 days. So there will be the 4 to 6 weeks of time given for gathering the requirements from the customer and getting the sign off. If you don't get the sign off by 6 weeks, then your project manager, he will have he will be behind you. Why there is a delay? What is the reason for delay? Why can't we fix it? All this, meetings will happen again. Clear? So don't get into that situation. Next. Is this clear, all of you? The first 2 pages?
Yes, sir.
So the realization is something that we need to do with the system. we have a to be ready. We have a to be document ready and signed off. After to be document is signed off, then only we can go to the next step. Then only we can go to the next step. Without signed off, we cannot go to the next step. So to be realization. So what we need to do? Understand landscape system strategy. Landscape system means the servers. Okay, development server. What is the quality server? What is the production server? Understand the landscape. The next, get the system access. For the required who will create this?
Basis team.
Yeah, required server. So this landscape system strategy is prepared, is designed by basis team. Okay, and they share the document. They share this LSS document. Which server is used for what purpose? They share this LSS document to everyone. Now, as a consultant, you need to get the system access. Without system access, where do you design? So the consultants should raise a request. The functional consultant or developers also. For access means user ID and passwords. Okay. Then it is approved by product manager. That request is approved by product managers. Once it is approved, then the basis team, SAP basis team creates user ID and passwords. Then you will receive automatic mail. An automatic mail triggered. An automatic mail triggered with a
To email ID.
Credentials.
User ID.
With the user credentials. You will receive a mail saying in the server, in development server, this is your user ID and this is your password. So what do you need to do? Okay, check the login and see if all required authorizations are granted. All required authorizations are granted. Okay, all required authorizations are granted. Okay. So sometimes user IDs are created, you are able to log in, but sometimes the required authorizations are missing. So you need to get the authorizations are working or not. You are able to access every application or not. which I'll show you once we start. Now, what is the next step? Start solution design. Means not coding, it is configuration. As per what? What is the base for the configuration?
Blueprint.
As for to be. Okay, to be document. So what you have promised here in the to be document, the plan of SAP solution, you configure this here. Okay, configuration. And also parallelly testing, we call it as a unit testing. Okay, the testing should be done by functional consultants to make sure every scenario is working, every business. Okay, to be document. Okay, next. So these are the main. Unit testing is very crucial here. Very important phase. Unit testing. See, if you do not test properly here, what happens? Tomorrow when the customer is testing and he will see a lot of issues and he escalate this to the product manager saying, small things also not working. Small things also not working. We cannot use this technology. Previous technology is much better than this. SAP is not working for small things also. For everything we are getting a issue. That's what they rise. So it's like company, there is a manufacturing company, Philips. It is producing its TVs, okay, smart TVs. Now, as a customer, I am very much interested in a Philips brand. Okay, I want to buy Philips TV only. Now, the Philips company produces the TV and it has a quality department in the company, right? So that TV will be verified and tested by the quality department within the company. If they do not test it, if they don't have a quality department within the company, what will happen? The product might have a defect and it might come to it comes to the retail market, and as a customer I go to the store and I am very much interested in a Philips brand and I ask for it. The shopkeeper brings it and then he shows it how to operate the TV, how is it working. Or else I bring it to home and I start testing it. If something is not working, what we do? We send it back. If it is a 1 day or a 2 day, we can send it back. Okay, and we think, okay, this may be a delivery issue, okay, a logistics issue or a transportation issue. Now we order for another product in the same brand, the second one also coming with the same defect, then he will never buy that product in the life. Not only that, he will also tell 10 other people that the Philips is producing its TVs with no quality in it. The first two units that I see are having a defects. Don't go for it. That's a kind of damage happened to the nowadays social media. Because of the social media is the companies have to be very careful. People are putting uh, the photos of it. If there is a small defect, they clearly take a photo of it and put it in the uh, this networks. I mean social. I mean e-commerce networks, so that everyone see in the reviews. So isn't it a damage? Yeah. So the quality department should ensure the complete tested products are going to the retail market to the customers. So that's what is unit testing in SAP. Before you release it to the customer testing, you test it from your side thoroughly from all the dimensions. Okay, from all the dimensions and approve it so that it goes to the customer testing. Got it? Unit testing. Sometimes your managers might ask you the unit testing document. Share me the unit testing document. It's a kind of a proof that is asked by your lead or a project manager. Show me the document, what scenarios have you tested, and they might add a few more scenarios to test it further. Okay, once we start implementing SAP, once you learn this course, you will see what scenarios need to be tested on your own. No, don't worry. There may be a checklist given to you, the unit testing checklist. Okay, clear? Now, what about the gaps? What about the gaps? The customer has agreed for the developments. Okay, and he is ready to pay for the development. There are 4 gaps we discussed, right? So that's where we need to work now in the realization itself. So now we are the one who interact with the end user, not the developer. Developer will never interact with the users. We are the one who takes the requirement from the customer and prepare a functional specification document. What is this document? This is called in shortcut FS document. It is interpretation of it is an interpretation of the client requirement in such a way that developer can understand. Because see, the users will tell us in their own terminology, provident fund, employee contribution, they say it like this. If you tell the same thing to the developer, he will not understand. Developer is not specific to HR. He works on HR object today, he works on finance object today, he works on material object tomorrow. For them, what module it is not important. For them, everything is a table or a program or a form or a report. It's basically a web program for them. So they need this explanation in that terminology, ababus terminology. Fields and the tables and the table fields. In such a way, we need to explain it. For example, client has basic pay. He is inputting it. His requirement is calculation of HRA. He wants this to be automatically calculated. He says formula also. It is a 40% of basic pay. It is a 40% of basic pay. So he says, why can't I get my HRA automatically calculated? I'm giving you the formula and I'm giving you the base. Okay. I want this to be an automated solution rather than the manual solution. That's what the requirement of the customer. Now let's say it is a gap. Let's assume the same is gap and customer wants to build a custom application. He is ready to pay. Now what we need to tell the developer is, okay, go to table 1 to 3. In that table there is a field. Read that field value amount. Okay, first step. Second step, apply 40% on it. Okay, and store the result in table ABC in field F2, which is a HRA. So are we talking about HRA basic pay terminology? Are we talking about the table terminology? So the program, in the program, he goes to this table and read the amount. In the program, he applies a percentage and get the result. And he store that result back to another table where the HRA is maintained. So this is the terminology that we need to talk to the developers. This is the terminology that the customer explains the requirements to us. We are like interpreters. We interpret the customer requirement in such a way the developer can understand it by using a document called FS document, functional specification document. Okay, so we are responsible for writing FS. See, the functional consultant is the only point of contact for the end users. We are like a representatives of the end users. We are hired to get best out of SAP for our customers, for our users. We always try to give a best solution to the customers, because customer does not know what is there in SAP, what is not there in SAP, and we are experts in it as a functional consultant. We work for the client to get best out of SAP. Okay, the best solution, the among the solutions available in the standard SAP solution system. So it is our responsibility to get the custom developments also by developer. So we interpret, then create data for testing, custom development, and then test it from test it. It is a functional consultant. It is a functional consultant who creates the data and then test it. Okay, and confirm it if it is working or not. Okay, so by the time we complete the realization, your 96 standard application should be configured. For custom developments also should be configured and tested by us. Tested by us. This is the realization phase. Are we clear with it? Any question? Any questions here?
No, sir.
So the next two phases we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, the
Sir,
next
one
two
small doubt.
phases. Yeah.
Sir, in that 4 application for the gaps, if the client, if they are not completed within that time, so they will charge any penalty will be there for that?
Generally the penalties are specified. It's a customer also delays the payment, right? The payments are released phase by phase. See, if you are not doing some work, it is a client who pays the amount. If the client does not pay the amount, it's obviously the punishment. Yes or no? If
Yes,
client
sir.
does not pay the amount for the UAT or for the realization phase, Okay, it's a punishment. There is always a pressure on the consulting company. Okay, if all of a
Okay,
sudden
sir.
the client wants to stop this project because of this delay, all the amount that has been spent for paying us salaries on consultants, travel, etc., infrastructure is gone. So the client will not pay unless you complete that phase. So obviously there is a pressure. That itself is a fine.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay, I'll share it in the group.
Sir, tomorrow also same link, sir, for joining the.
No, tomorrow I'll change the link. I send this.
Okay.
Okay,
Sir, can you please join me to the batch 49 group?
you're not attending last sessions.
No, sir.
This is the first session.
No. I'm doing the first, third session, but in the 49 group I cannot do.
Okay,
You can add me.
so I'll share the meeting link in the batch 49 tomorrow, guys.
Okay.
Okay, catch you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Nice to bye.